This video is about sex tourism and kite surfing. All right. Hello, everybody. Let's get nice and cozy. I feel like I'm always in a different location when I film for you guys, which, yeah, I kind of am in a different location, which is because I move around a lot. And speaking of moving around a lot, today I'm going to tell you guys about a place that I visited that, how do I put this, left me definitely not wanting more, if that makes any sense. I've seen a lot of places in the world. I've traveled quite a bit, and this one definitely took me by surprise a little bit. I can say with certainty that I most likely will not be going back. All right. And I wasn't even sure if I was gonna make a video about this place or not, because I know I'm gonna get a lot of slack in the comments about it, not necessarily towards me, but against this place in general, which I could understand why. So yes, all right, let's get started, shall we? So, as you know, if you've been following my videos, I spent a good chunk of this year in Southeast Asia, mostly in Thailand. Spent about 3 months there. Absolutely love Thailand so much for so many reasons. I cannot wait to go back. I mean, the weather's great. People are so nice. It's very safe. The food is amazing. It is so cheap. Everything is so accessible. It's just easy, and the massages are incredible. You get people to massage your feet every day. They're so nice, and it's such a beautiful place to live. And again, like, people are nice and all that stuff. It's just wonderful. But we didn't spend all our time there. I mean, we spent most of it. But for 2 weeks, we decided to go visit another place for 3 reasons. All right, and that place is the Philippines. And reason number 1 is because I've never been, Gab's never been, and we've both really want to go. So there was that. Number 2, we have a good friend who spends a good chunk of his time living there. He's been living in Southeast Asia for many, many, many years, and he's spent a lot of time in the Philippines, and he was gonna be there, so we were gonna go visit him. And number 3, they have great surfing and kite surfing spots. And Gab kites. I am a beginner kite surfer, so we definitely wanted to take advantage of that and check it out. And that was at Boracay, all right? And Boracay is one of the nicest islands in the world. No, this video is not about Boracay, but I'm just giving you the details on where we visited. Just quick rundown, Boracay is really beautiful. It is completely overrun by tourists. Would I go back there again as a tourist? No, but would I go back as a kite surfer? Yes, because the kite surfing is incredible. If you like to kite surf, if you want to learn how to kite surf, it's definitely a great spot for beginners, which is me, myself. The kite surfing community is incredibly kind, chill, relaxed. The beach is great. It's just wonderful. So would I go back to kite surf? Absolutely. All right. And then the other little city that we visited, only for 2 days, because when we arrived from Chiang Mai to the Philippines, we arrived directly in this city that we were gonna spend 2 days in and then move on to Boracay. And that city is Angeles City. And if you've heard about Angeles City, if you know anything about it, let me know. Drop it in the comments below. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect at all. And I was certainly surprised. And honestly, it takes a lot to surprise me because I'm pretty open-minded and pretty chillax about a lot of things. But this, I was like, oh, all right, this is, it's interesting. So Angeles is about an hour and a half driving north from Manila. It's a smallish city, maybe 600,000 people. It's kind of run down, you know, there's nothing special there. There's a lot of strip malls and fast food places and malls and kind of run down shops and stuff like that. It's not very developed, okay. But what makes it so popular, though I wouldn't even say it's that popular, because I feel like this is the kind of place you kind of need to know someone who knows to go there. It's like you need a key, a secret key, because if you don't know, you'll never know. But we knew because, again, we have a friend who's been traveling there for over 20 years. He lives in Southeast Asia. He's a single male, and he's lived there for a long time. So, you know, it's almost like a second home. He's, you know, very good friends with the local community and so on. So that's how we knew, okay? And we get there kind of with a little bit of information already, you know. Oh my God, I feel like, okay, so let me just go ahead and tell you. Angeles City used to be an old military base camp during the Vietnam War, okay, for the US. So it has a culture of, well, it has a military culture. I don't even know how you would say that, military culture. Has a sex tourism culture, which has stemmed from, you know, being a military base camp, and that kind of never really went away. So the only thing this city is really known for is sex tourism. All right, and I know like Thailand has a lot of sex tourism and so on, but this was interesting. It was just on a different level. And yeah, so again, there's nothing really there except for this one street that stretches over maybe like, I don't know, 7 or 8 blocks, okay? It's called Walking Street. And it's just, you know, strip clubs and that kind of vibe. That's it, okay? And you just, every night, you just go walking up and down that street. Like everyone just goes there. When I say everyone, I mean the tourists, which mainly consist of men, mostly Japanese, Korean, or Western. Okay. I was the only. All right, let me backtrack. Yes. Okay. So once we got to Angeles, you know, it was daytime, you know, we walked around the city a little bit, but really there's nothing there. We got to our hotel, which was actually a very nice hotel. The staff were incredible. And that's one thing I have to say about the Filipino culture. Everyone is very kind. Everyone is so nice. They're so warming. They're so warm and welcoming. So that was a really positive experience. And the hotel was great. It was big. It was kind of looked like almost a little resort, you know, it had like a big pool in the middle. It was really cool. And they had events every night. It was a very nice hotel. Okay. Good quality, good service, good food, all that kind of stuff. Clean, whatever. And then nighttime rolls around, you know, and we go to Walking Street and we go meet our friend for a drink, right? And keep in mind, we were only there for 2 nights. And over the 2 days, I was the only Western woman anywhere. I didn't see any other Western woman for 2 days. It was weird. It was the weirdest thing. It was the weirdest thing. Even our friend was like, you know what? I never realized before, but yeah, you are the only Western woman I've ever really seen here. Because people would actually, when I say people, I mean locals, I guess. It was mostly locals. You know, the people that were working in the bars and stuff. And they would stop and they would look at me and they were confused as to why the hell is a Western girl here? Like, why would a Western girl come here? And, you know, in my head at first, I'm like, you know, we're traveling, we're fun, we're experiencing new things, I'm relaxed, I'm open, let's go discover the world sort of thing. This was so strange for me. I definitely felt a little bit out of my comfort zone because I was being stared at. Not in a negative way though, okay? In a very positive way, I guess, because all the girls, you know, that were out on the street and so on, that were working the clubs, but you know, they often kind of hang out outside of the club to sort of get people to come in, were all over me. It was so overwhelming. Everywhere we would walk, they would stop, they would come up to me and be like, "You're so beautiful." And they would do this because that means like you're so cute, which I honestly think that's kind of cute. Next time I see a cute girl walking, I'm gonna go like this. And then they do this, because they like my nose. And they touch my hair and they just like pull me away from Gab and be like, you're so beautiful, you know? And Gab, you know, laughed. He's like, my self-esteem is, you know, getting shot down here. They were all over me. And not that I was enjoying it. Like I wasn't, you know, relishing in the, oh yeah, I'm being sexualized. And it was strange. It was funny, awkward, a bit weird. And so yeah, that's pretty much it, you know. Like the 2 nights that we were there, we would go for a drink and then we'd kind of bar hop, I guess, and go for a drink. And when I say drink, you know, I was on my soda water and lime, of course. And we'd go from, you know, have a drink at 2 or 3 places. And I mean, you guys know me now. I'm down for fun. I'm down to try stuff and everything, but sorry to disappoint you, but there are no sexy stories from this trip. At the end of each night, which was only 2 nights, I wasn't really feeling anything. You know, I turned to Gavin and said, man, like, do you want to go back to the hotel and get some nachos? And he was like, yeah, let's go. You know, we both felt a little off. I think we were just very overwhelmed. And, you know, inside these bars, we went to maybe 2 or 3 of them. It was similar to Thailand in the sense that you go for a drink, it's just like a bar, and there's you know, the stage in the middle, and there's girls that go dance. They're not naked, they're wearing bras and underwear, and they're kind of dancing, or they just stand there in a line with a number, and they stand there, and they don't really do anything, they just smile. Or they dance, but they dance copying some kind of TikTok dancing thing on TV. I saw people doing that everywhere in the Philippines, not just in these bars, but everywhere. It was so funny. They really love dancing there. It was kind of cool. It was very happy and joyful and kind of made me want to jump in. You know, it was almost like karaoke, but with dancing instead. So they'd kind of scroll through a TV and pick a dance routine, and then everybody would start dancing to it. Very interesting. And there was one place that we went to, okay, that you had someone massage your shoulders the whole time you were there. It was odd. I don't know, I felt awkward. We go in, I'm sitting there, Gab's sitting there, his friend's there. We each have a woman massaging our shoulders, and I just turned to my friend, I'm like, what am I, like, is she gonna be doing this the whole time? Do I tell her to stop? Do I give money? What's the deal? And he's like, oh, you could tell her to stop, or you could, you know, give her some money and she'll keep going. And it was so bizarre. It was so bizarre, but interesting to see, you know, that side of the world. And I was approached a few times by men who were very confused by my presence. There was one guy that pulled Gab aside and said, is that your wife? Why would you bring sand to the beach? He was so confused. Why would you bring your girlfriend here, you know? And then there were a few other gentlemen that came up to me saying, oh, it's so rare that we see a Western girl here who's not offended. And, you know, I just said, oh, well, you know, I'm curious. You know, we're just checking things out and so on. But yeah, I felt icky. There was something that just didn't feel quite right to me. So that was Angelus. Sorry, there's no more, you know, no more saucier stories there to share with you, but I kind of wanted to give you guys the details on what it was like for me there. Very interesting place, you know, if you're curious, and I know most of my audience is male, so you're probably curious to go, you know, to each their own. You do you, no judgment here. But as a woman anyways, not my jam. Not my jam. Wouldn't go back there. What else? Yes, one other thing that I noticed. So in these clubs, you'll also notice girls have IDs attached to their clothes, and there's 2 IDs. So one is their identity, I guess, their regular ID, and the other is their latest, I guess, STD or medical testing, because they have to get tested every, I don't know how frequent it is, 2 weeks or so, to make sure that they're clean and to make sure that they can work in these establishments, because apparently they're kind of strict with that. You have to get tested in order to be able to be employed by one of these places. Is that super accurate? I don't really know. And yeah, you can pay the bar a fine and then, you know, take a girl out to have a girlfriend experience, or just for a short time or something like that. But again, I really don't know the intricate details of how this works. You know, how much of it is kosher, if any of it's kosher, all that stuff. Like, I don't know, but it was interesting. It was weird. It was a bit ick. I got a little bit of the ick, but you know what? I'm happy that I saw it, that I experienced it, and I guess I'm more aware of, you know, the things that are happening in the world because I've seen them firsthand. So I'm very grateful for the experience. Would I go back? No. If you're interested in going, yay, good for you. You can do your little research online. Go check out the airport. It is super, super nice. And if you're into kite surfing, I definitely recommend going to Boracay. This video is about sex tourism and kite surfing. All right. I mean, the last thing about Angeles, the last thing and probably the best thing about Angeles is the airport. It has the nicest airport I have ever seen. And it's actually voted the nicest airport in all of the Philippines, which is crazy because Angeles is such like a small city. There's really nothing there. But when Gab and I got to the airport, I swear I thought we were in a museum, in some kind of architectural digest magazine, airport of the year. It was beautiful, beautiful. And there's nobody there, ever. We had all the service. We got to go in one of those go-kart things to bring us to our gate, you know, because employees were just kind of sitting around waiting for something to do. The food sucked. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Filipino food. Sorry. I feel like I should go back there with more time because, to be honest, we didn't spend that much time in the Philippines. We were in Boracay for, I don't know, 10 days, 8 days, something like that, and then in Angeles for 2 days. So my experience in the Philippines is quite small, and I feel like I could and would go back to experience it more in depth, go to a few more islands, experience some more local culture. So if you have any questions, let me know, drop them in the comments below. I'm only reporting to you guys what I observed. And that's it. So thanks for listening. And comme d'habitude, je vous aime. Ciao.